We even discussed how to hedge to protect our tester investment when it was literally around the high. I looked at buying puts in most of these companies, but they were priced in well. So if they dropped to half their value, who would have thought practically zero? Well, maybe Nikola anyway. It was an EV bubble and somewhat perpetuated by Tesla. But I was wrong. As I mentioned earlier, there was an EV bubble, and it was evidently worse when we looked at the historic stock prices of NIO, Lucid, Vivian, Nikola, or even Nakamoto. I also said that Tesla might be more like Amazon of the dot-com bubble. It may go down when the bubble pops, but it will stay stronger than the others and eventually keep growing. Because I honestly didn't think Tesla would recover this much this fast, at least not until I saw Nvidia hit all-time highs. I was under the impression that Tesla too was possibly being somewhat bubbled, and it probably was because demand was not genuine at the time due to COVID creating so many supply chain issues for the competition and everyone having so much money at the time they all wanted new cars. Tesla might truly return to 300, and I stated in the video I made when Tesla was at 160 that, despite how unlikely it seemed at the time, Tesla could actually reach 300 this year. This was based not on my fundamental analysis, but rather on the market's assessment of what might occur in the future. As it stands, Tesla has roughly recovered to a reasonable price. The competition simply rode the EV wave and thought they could easily replicate what Tesla has managed to achieve. Rivian and Lucid even took identical business models, starting with a high-end version that has a high price tag so they can learn how to build EVs in low quantities before scaling up to volume produced. Tesla's stock price was not actually in an EV bubble. Rather, it was priced as a tech stock. Cars like Tesla's Model S and X before switching to the other three. The market reasoned that if Tesla could pull it off over a decade ago, it might too. The EV bubble did eventually burst as losses from the so-called competition continued to be reported. These losses were so severe that there was little sign that the companies could ever turn a profit before their enormous cash reserves ran out. However, since they have managed to bring down their costs more than most, and have even reached volume production on some lines, they have a chance. Lucid and Rivian can also be massively profitable over time, just like Tesla. There's plenty of room in the market for more than one player. Naturally, reserves can support their EVs through their ICE parts and services businesses. As for the EV-only companies, I believe NIO has the best chance of succeeding. All of these companies' valuations crashed along with the EV bubble, and Tesla was hit by extension. However, now that everyone is aware of how unique Tesla is, we can no longer ignore how amazing Tesla has been in becoming so profitable and reaching such high volumes of volume reduction and all the massive economies of scale tests we have accomplished in order to do this at all-time lows while Tesla is heading in the opposite direction. Has Tesla caught onto another bubble that the others can never ride? Has Tesla simply moved on to ride the next bubble? Since Tesla is more than just an automaker, I believe it is likely a combination of both. Tesla recovered to a low of 200 in the stock price, and the remaining gains came from the AI potential. Now, the market is reconsidering Tesla again, particularly in light of the most recent delivery and production results. Comparisons of those results to the competition suggest that Tesla's demand and production numbers are defying gravity serves as a reminder of this company's very amazing potential. This year, the markets haven't done much except for companies like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Intel. A few others in the tech industry, like Google, it's all tech because the market believes artificial intelligence, AI, is the next big thing. Or maybe it's just setting up to be the next bubble. The strategy is to buy now, hoping that someone else will be equally foolish or greedy and buy it later at a higher price. This is known as the castle in the air theory, which makes you think that something impossible could happen. Since people are so much smarter now, they'd never be greedy enough to chase the next new thing that has a completely different paradigm to how our lives will change. Of course they will. There hasn't been any significant human evolution since the dot-com bubble or the real estate bubble. Because of the way our brains are formed, fear and greed. The want to have more. Response to each other. Why I think Tesla will reach 500 by the end of the year. But in a bubble. Well, all the regulations are nullified, and Elon probably encouraged it the entire time by pointing out how near FSD is. It's even kind of moot as to when FSD is solved as no one really knows, including Elon, which is why his missing targets since 2016. Tesla has the most powerful AI computers and is further ahead of everyone else. Once solved, the numbers get nutty tests would be more valuable than the top tech company and the top energy company, combined, etc. And if Elon can show a little magic on the way, it just adds to his credibility. Sure, he hasn't been as popular other times, but it just depends on what his recent track record will be. Investors will start to believe in robots too. Tesla could seriously run. Or have you forgotten it went from $136 in November 2020 to $293 in January 2021? That's an increase of 115 in just 3 months. Is it possible Tesla could jump like that again? The market doesn't give a damn if people just start to think that it might happen soon before it happens. And they don't really care where this opinion comes from. More advancements using AI in Tesla returning to the forefront with a large, flashy, with a Model 3 Highland that can travel over 300 miles for less than $40,000, and tax benefits like these upgrades sparing demand for these models again, and maybe leading to price increases and margins recovering, then energy ramping twice as quickly as before. Cyber-attacks are grabbing center stage. We've seen cars speeding across Mexico, construction sites breaking ground, and the unveiling of the highly anticipated 25,000 electric vehicle. All of which could indicate that Tesla is sometimes the right place at the right time. I know that many of you are content to write this off until 2030 and not end the celebration before then. But if the stock shot up to $1,000 or more, that's not unreasonable. Remember that this is an investment, and your shares don't actually save the world. So that $1,000 may seem like a lot of money, even though we haven't reached 300 yet. As I mentioned earlier, he also recognizes Tesla's trailblazing position in the EV industry, which is growing swiftly as more individuals come to understand the economic and environmental benefits of electric vehicles. Second, Chamath expresses excitement about Tesla's potential to radically alter the energy industry, while highlighting the company's commitment to renewable energy and its advancement of solar power. In the end, energy storage solutions and technologies will play a significant role in future growth. Disruptive technology, according to long-term investor Chamath, has the potential to generate large profits over time. Given this, he believes that Tesla represents a once-in-a-generation opportunity and that the company is a leader in the ongoing revolution of the energy and automotive sectors. Tesla has already more than doubled in the previous 3 months, so it's going for it more now than she did over 3 years ago. Tesla is poised to dominate any significant bubble that emerges, including the AI narrative. May wane a little bit if businesses find it difficult to profit handsomely from it, only to be rekindled with another breakthrough or story. In addition, Tesla can also ride the robotics bubble. At any point, oil prices could skyrocket due to a black swan event, making EVs appear like a much better deal. Alternatively, we might have an exceptionally hot summer that breaks records, prompting governments to decide to take further action against climate change and giving Tesla more subsidies. There are always a few burning issues at Tesla that might push the business to new heights at any time.